go. The sound of fingernails lightly scratching cardboard of indeterminate thickness. Coming up next, it's Ngaire Bennett's call centre. Thanks for joining me, Frank Lettsby, on today's ASMR Marathon. I'll be here for another 14 hours tomorrow and every day until this lockdown is over. And if you'd like to feel relaxed in a more personal setting, then the weekend after next I shall be performing a live whispering Saturday evening and Sunday lunchtime at the Penguin Club in Oamaru. Here's Ngaire Bennett. Oh, okay, sitting with your mouth a bit close to the mic there, but thank you, Frank, for another painfully long episode of whatever that was. I'm surprised you're still plugging your gig. I think maybe you're being a bit optimistic that that'll go ahead. I don't think a middle-aged man breathing heavily is considered an essential service, is it? Not sure I'd want to live in a world where it was. Anyway, kia ora, I'm Ngaire Bennett. Welcome to Call Centre. Call Centre, Call Centre, Call Centre, Call Centre. Before we start the show, I noticed, Frank, that you pronounced Oamaru as Oamaru. Well, here's a bit of broadcasting trivia for you. Did you know that I, Ngaire Bennett, was the first broadcaster on New Zealand television to pronounce it Oamaru? Back in 1998, I was a guest presenter on Good Morning because Mary Lambie was getting her anus bleached. And the producer said to me, look, there's a segment coming up about Oamaru. We'd like you to have a crack at pronouncing it Oamaru. So I did, and that's something I'm quite proud of now. I wasn't at the time. I was furious. I said it's called Oamaru. It's always been called Oamaru. If you change it now, then how will anyone know where the bloody hell you're talking about? I said it's political correctness gone mad. Anyway, welcome. Today we have a special call-in for the young people as we receive a visit from the Youth Centaur. Youth Centaur, Youth Centaur, Youth Centaur, Youth Centaur.
Clip, clop, clip, clop. So, let's see what the youth have emailed in. Amber from West Tokomariro.
No, I'm not reading that out, Amber. You're being a little bit silly and a little bit irresponsible. Same goes for you, Jason of West Tokomariro. I'm not reading it out. I will be passing your message to the police, and I suggest you get some Caniston for the foot infection. Disgusting. Scott of West Tokomariro writes, I still self-isolating if I'm self-gratifying myself? Good Lord, you've been doing a little bit too much of that, I think, Scott. It's supposed to make you go blind, and it's certainly made you too blind to proofread. I still self-isolating if I'm self-gratifying myself? You can't self-gratify someone else, can you? That's 3 selves, a tautology, and a typo. Useless. Listen, can we just put a moratorium on anyone from West Tokomariro writing in? Why are you online anyway? Shouldn't you all be parked up somewhere? 6 people crammed into one ute with your she-had CDs and your bucket bongs? Sniffing glue and impregnating your sisters? Enough of you people. Call centre with me, Ngaire Bennett. Youth Centaur. Helping you through this bloody lockdown with a little bit of chat and advice. Drop us an email, callcentre@thegoogles.co.nz. Nay! Actually, let's just drop the Youth Centaur and go back to talking to proper adults. Becky from Toko North writes, Ngaire, I am 40 years old and find myself unexpectedly living with my parents again. My wife and I are coming up to our first wedding anniversary. How should we celebrate? Well, that's funny, isn't it? I happen to know that your anniversary is coming up, Becky, because it coincides with the first anniversary of you not inviting me to your wedding, despite our many years of friendship. Still, I shall rise above it and remain professional because, unlike some people, I am not a two-faced little bitch. Now, I'm inferring from your question, Becky, that the presence of your parents in your house is perhaps keeping you from being intimate with your wife? And I'm wondering, is that a noise thing? Are you worried your parents will hear you, unable as you are to keep from crying out in the throes of passion, perhaps omitting a sexual swear word or two? Look, that is nothing to be embarrassed about. We all do it. You should hear the filth that comes out of Noel's mouth once he finally unclenches long enough for me to slide it into him. Listen, if noise is the issue, and you've tried to hit the mute button in the bedroom, then it might be time to introduce a ball gag into your love play. Preferably a rubber or a silicone ball with good airflow. Avoid a hard plastic or you risk chipping your teeth. If you don't have one of those at home, you can always improvise with, I don't know, a small tomato and some gaffer tape. Well, look, here's the thing. If you're all together in the same house, then perhaps your parents are sitting with you at this very moment listening to this, in which case, let me just tear the plaster off for you right now. Brian, Carol, listen up. Put the telly on. Turn up the volume on the Antiques Roadshow extra loud for an hour or so, and maybe get stuck into a 1,000-piece jigsaw. Give your daughter a chance to take her wife to the bedroom to just discreetly, I don't know exactly what those people do. Les each other off with dildos, I imagine. But just give them a little bit of space, okay? All right then, put Becky back on. Sorry, I forgot how radio works for a moment. Anyway, Becky, I hope that helps. Antonio says, Ngaire, should I be cool or a nerd? Well, Antonio, it's hard to tell without meeting you, but I think the fact that you're spending your lockdown time emailing a middle-aged Christian woman for advice, well, that rather gives you your answer, doesn't it? Bless. Good luck, Antonio. Life will be hard for you. Ken of East Tokomariro asks, Ngaire, is size important? Gosh, we've heard this a lot, haven't we? And Ken, it doesn't matter how many times you keep asking. The answer will always be yes. Call centre, call centre, call centre, call centre. Keep the emails coming. callcentre@thegoogles.co.nz. Duncan of Toko West says, Hi Ngaire, are you aware that Karen from Toko Radio West is offering free sponge baths to COVID-19 survivors? Duncan, there is no Toko Radio West. I don't care what Karen says. Putting an index card in the window of the Night and Day does not make her a broadcaster. It makes her a slut. Kev from, give me strength. Kev from Ute Centre writes, the judge says you can't use our jingle anymore. Kevin, come off it. The judge is your cousin Barry. He wasn't in court when he said it. He was at a barbecue and he was humouring you because you were drunk. How could I have stolen the Youth Centre jingle from Ute Centre when Youth Centre stopped broadcasting in 1994 and the Tokomariro Utility Vehicle Service didn't change its name to Ute Centre until 1996? I should be suing you. But well done, I've read out your email, so you've got your free plug-in, but that's enough now. Bloody ridiculous. Maggie says, oh no, I'm not reading that. I'm sorry, Maggie, that's just racist. I mean, you're not wrong. They eat bats, but still. Who's next? Oh, Janet. I'm saying Janet and I'm doing the air quotes here because this is someone who wishes to remain anonymous and has given a false name. Janet says, I am a lesbian and find myself inexplicably attracted to the Director General of Health, Dr. Ashley Bloomfield. Why is that? Well, Janet, I don't think this is in any way unusual. I think a lot of people are finding Dr. Bloomfield sexually attractive, and it's perfectly understandable. Look, it's a difficult time, and he's very comforting. He's knowledgeable and authoritative and almost warmly patriarchal. He's sort of like the nation's dad. And who amongst us, at one time or another, hasn't been sexually attracted to... Sorry, I'm not sure where I was going with that. Anyway, Becky, I hope that helps. Sorry, not Becky, I mean Janet. But seriously, Becky, what's the point of adopting a pseudonym if you're going to send me a message via Facebook? I can see it's you. Once again, please say hello to your parents. You're listening to Call Centre with me, Ngaire Bennett. And Rich of East Tokomariro writes, Ngaire, what are your hopes for humanity post-virus? Rich of East Tokomariro, that is a very good question. Because there will be a post-virus. We will get through this. By staying at home now, by having some consideration for the well-being of others, by not going out unless we absolutely have to, except for church, obviously, by flattening the curve, we will get there all the quicker, to that day when as an entire species, we can once again step blinking into the sunlight of a new day, look at one another with fresh eyes, knowing that in the face of this terrible adversity we were all equal, kings and paupers alike. And on that day we shall say to ourselves, well now, who do we want to be? And if I have a hope, it's that we make that choice in a spirit of free enterprise and fiscal and social conservatism. And if we've thinned the herd a little bit along the way, well, that's, could be a mixed blessing, couldn't it? Just take out a few of the riffraff. Could be a little silver lining. Go Sinta, go Sinta, go Sinta, go Sinta.